world is coming undone. Imperial flags reign across the galaxy.
Can you be trusted without your shackles?
It's just all the way.
Hey, I'm Chris. This is the Jedi Council. And as you can see, I'm holding the council chambers down by myself. Gonzo won't be joining me tonight. He had to work over. VP is on his way. I don't believe Mike is going to be able to make it, but he said he will make it tomorrow. And Ken, I haven't heard anything about from Ken. All right, let's see. We have Mar. We have Mar in here. Mar in Memphis. Katrina's here. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So just a few things I was going to show you. I've actually showed this stuff to VP and to Gonzo. And so just while we're waiting on VP to get here, I got some new Star Wars merchandise. So I did get some Funko Pops. So I did get a Captain Phasma. I got a First Order Jet Trooper. And speaking of Rogue One, I got an Imperial Death Trooper. All right. But then we're going to go on to my favorite. More cash for Disney, probably. All right. So this is probably my favorite Funko so far. So this, I got my Mandalorian Funko, a giant Funko. So, but not only that, but I also got something else. And as most of you know, Heaven's home right now. And some of the stuff she got for me, not the giant Mando. I got that I went and bought that myself. But the little Funko Pop she got me, but her roommate, let me grab this, was working at Hollywood Studios when Galaxy's Edge opened there. And she's not a Star Wars fan. But anybody who was working at Hollywood Studios during that time got one of these, which is for the opening team. And because she's not a Star Wars fan, she asked if I wanted it. So Heaven brought it home to me. So this is the opening team, August 29th, 2019, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Magic Band. So I probably will not wear this. I'll take it out and show you guys what it looks like. Let me get it out. All right. So it actually has a Millennium Falcon on this side. I know it's kind of, let me see if I can. And then it just says, I believe in Arabic, it might say opening team. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I'm not really fluent in Arabic. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's white and light. But yeah, I was really happy. I want to thank Heaven's roommate, Kiana, for giving that to me. I really like it. But that's something big. So basically, we are here and to talk about Rogue One. Now, I had to work today. I know it's Veterans Day and I had to work, and I didn't get home till about 7 o'clock. So I didn't get to see much of Rogue One. I've seen the movie before, but usually I try to watch them to try to refresh myself on it before we get in here. And I think I got up to the part right when, and I would say spoiler alert, but this movie's been out for a while. Jyn Erso's father, Galen Erso, was killed. And that's about as far as I got. because I had to come up here and had to do the other live stream, and I was happy Heaven was able to do it with me. So, so I liked Rogue One. I think Rogue One could have been better. From what the trailer we watched, there was a lot of stuff that was in the trailer that did not make it into the movie. And I think some people were a little upset about that because I don't know if it directed people or anything like that. But there was like a part where Jen Erso, she was like, "You're a rebellion." And she goes, "I don't understand. I rebel." And that didn't make it. There was a few things that were in the trailer that didn't make it that a lot of people wish that was in it. Oh, yes, Mar. Yes, I know. Yes. So the box is damaged, but hey, you take what you can get. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen the whole movie, Mar. I just tonight, that's about as far as I got. But basically, this movie was made from the crawl, from the beginning of A New Hope, or actually Star Wars. It was Star Wars. It wasn't called A New Hope until Empire Strikes Back came, and then they decided they needed to name the first one. So, but yeah, they basically just took the beginning crawl and made it into a movie, actually. And I love this movie. I love for the fact that you can butt it right up to the front end of A New Hope, and you could almost watch it all as one movie. I think it's great. I love the characters in this. I'm so happy they're going to make a Cassian Andor series, which is supposed to be, I think it might be before the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney Plus, because it might not be. I'm not for sure. I know they were all kind of like the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series and the Cassian Andor, they were announced together. So I may be wrong. It might come after Obi-Wan. But I really like K2SO, the droid that's in there. He is actually done by who is being called now the voice of Disney. So, and that is, I can't think of his name. I know it. He's the guy who does, I know what he looks like because he was in A Knight's Tale. He was also in a TV show called Suburbia. I think it was called Suburbia. I don't remember. But I'm trying to think of his name. Alan Tudyk. Yes. He's been the voice. He was a voice. He did Hey Hey in Moana. He was the Duke of Weselton. And then he was the Weasel in Zootopia, which was funny because they called the Duke of Weselton the Duke of Weaselton. So, and then he played, I think the guy might have been Weaselton. Awesome, Mar. I like it. I like it. There's a lot of Easter eggs in it, especially when you get to the part, and I'm not trying to give anything away, but when they're searching files, if you watch the names, certain things pop up. But oh yeah, yeah. And what's funny is I think Alan Tudyk actually talked with Anthony Daniels, and Anthony Daniels was upset that this guy played a droid and did not have to wear the costume like he had to when he played 3PO. So, but I do have some Star Wars news. I was kind of waiting for VP, so hopefully he'll be coming on here pretty soon. But yeah, Forrest Whitaker, he's in Rogue One. I think he did an amazing job as Sal Guerrero, which was an actual character that came from the animated series The Clone Wars. Saul Guerrero was just a kid, and Ahsoka Tano was helping these young kids learn how to fight against the Empire that had taken over their world. So that's Saul Guerrero and his sister, actually. So I thought that was neat that they actually took a character from the Clone War animated series and actually put it into a live series. obviously you see them at Yavin 4. They're at Yavin 4 just like they are in A New Hope. That's where the rebels are hiding at this time. And yeah, Mara, that's true. Yes. I think that's what Anthony Daniels was probably saying. but yeah, so they're on. So there's they had Mon Mothma, so she was there. I think they had General Dodonna was there in there, and some of it is like who's actually going to make it into the Cassian Andor series. Are any of these characters going to be in the series, or is it just going to be because he actually plays like a spy or a special agent for the rebellion? And I hope they keep K2SO in it because I think K2SO is awesome in this. I think one of my favorite things from Rogue One was the part where he goes, do you know what the odds are of her using that blaster on us? And he goes, it's high. Not like 3PO, he can give you the actual, but yeah. Was the Jedi Temple a Jedi Temple since there were Kyber? Yes, it was. Yes, and Chirrut and Baze, they were supposed to be protectors of the will, of the wills, and I think Chirrut is probably one of my favorite characters in it. I think the funniest thing is when Saw Gerrera's people takes him and they put a bag over his head. And he goes, "I'm blind." I think that's one of the funniest parts. Another part is why they're on Jeddah, where Jin shoots the Imperial droid that looks like K2SO, and he's like, "Did you know that wasn't me?" I thought that there's kind of a banter between Jyn Erso and him, and I love that. There was just a lot of neat stuff, and what's really neat is if you look at Enfys Nest from Solo, there are some people that's from that group that is with Saw Gerrera's group, so you've got to watch. Hey Kelly, how you doing? So yeah, so some of the group people that were in Enfys Nest and Solo are with Saw Gerrera's group in Rogue One. So it might just be a couple, but they are there. But Rogue One to me, I liked it. Like I said, the trailer, there was a lot of stuff that was in the trailer that didn't make it in the movie that I thought should have made it into the movie. I think the Jyn Erso character, I think her name's January Jones, which is an awesome name. She did a great job. I love seeing her in that. Cassio Andor, I can't think of the guy's name who played him, but he did a great job. Obviously, he did a wonderful job. He's getting his own series on Disney Plus. So, there was all kinds of stuff that happened in this movie. Bodhi, the Imperial pilot that defected to the rebellion, thought he was great in it. Of course, I can't think of the guy's name who played Galen Erso. I know he played Hannibal Lecter in the Hannibal series, and I liked him in that. I watched part of that, and he did a really good job as Hannibal Lecter. I've never seen the guy who played Director Krennic. Maybe I have. I just didn't recognize him. But and then we got new stormtroopers from this movie. We had the Death Troopers that nobody had ever heard of, and then I think we had the Scarif. They were kind of like sand troopers. So I thought that was really neat. The story to this, I thought it compared to, for me, it compared to the originals. I really thought the story was really, really good. I think it ranked right up there with the originals. I might be saying that because it was like the first Star Wars movie to come out for a long time. It was the first one Disney did. But which made you have hope that Disney was taking good care of it. And then it just kind of went downhill from there. But other than that, yeah, the whole entire idea of this movie was so great. I loved it. You kind of got Cassian Andor as a spy. He's kind of that rogue Han Solo type, the type that'll shoot first. Obviously, I do believe Han Solo shot first, not Greedo. And I think that's what we're going to get. And the thing is we have a Star Wars movie with no Jedi, which I think is pretty cool. Speaking of that, just to get off the subject of the movie real quick, I do know that Doc Ondars is releasing 2 new Legacy Lightsabers. And one is Cal Kestis. And Cal Kestis is the hero in the Jedi Fallen Order video game. So that's canon now, which would make, I believe, will now make orange bladed lightsabers canon. Hey, Lori Jean, thanks for coming in. And then they're also going to be putting out Count Dooku's. No, Mar, he wasn't a Jedi. He was more of a guardian, is what he was. He believed in the Force, and he believed the Force acted around him, but he was not Force sensitive. No. So, as you could tell, he said something about it protected him, and it was Baze who says, "No, I protect you." So. But I truly believe it. He's not a Jedi, but he has faith in the Force. I should say that. So, but I like Chirrut. I thought he was a great character. It was amazing some of the stuff, being a blind man, that he could sense he might be slightly Force sensitive. Might be. Just not enough to be a Jedi. Actually, there's certain the way they got people can be Force sensitive, but not Force sensitive enough to be a Jedi. And they've got like certain levels. And I think even they said Han Solo, when it comes to being Force sensitive, is like a level 6 because of the way he's a pilot and things just go his way. He thinks he has good luck, and it's actually the Force. Yeah, Chirrut might be right there at a level 6 along with Han Solo, where he actually, instead of believing it's luck, Chirrut understands it's the Force that does it for him. But yeah, I think he was probably one of the best parts of that. I was watching it, and Heaven was watching it with me. I'm just like, this is one of my favorite parts right here. And that's where Chirrut shoots down one of the TIE fighters. And I mean, this guy, so obviously he can sense certain stuff. I don't know, but once again, the guy is blind too. And we know that usually once you lose one sense, the other senses become heightened. So that might also be part of it. But yeah, so I really liked Rogue One. I think Disney did a really good job for the first Star Wars movie. He must have some sensitivity because he could predict things, like Jen had a kyber crystal necklace. That is true, Mar. That is true. But yeah, he wasn't a Jedi. I don't know. I think maybe there should be more to his backstory. I've never seen anything that they did any backstories really on these characters, and I can't see him showing up in the Disney Plus series due to the fact that everything about Cassian Andor is obviously before Rogue One. So it's all about Cassian Andor's being a spy for the rebellion and everything like that. So, but I'm hoping VP gets here pretty soon So I'd like to hear his side of that. I also have some news, and I kind of waiting on VP to get here. So it's kind of some big news, and it has to do with Star Wars, and it has to do with The Mandalorian. It actually has more to do with The Mandalorian, more to do, let's put it this way. It has to do with The Mandalorian, but it's probably going to roll off being its own series itself. I don't know if you know this. Ahsoka Tano is going to be in The Mandalorian, and she's going to be played by Rosia. I can't say her name. Rosario Dawson. I think that's how you say it. And this is what's funny. The fans asked for Rosario Dawson to play Ahsoka Tano. Camping until the performer comes on stage. But Rosario Dawson, she was asked to have that by the fans. So Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are actually listening to Star Wars fans on what they want. And what I have to tell you actually has to do with what something the fans wanted. And once again, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau were listening. So yeah, Mara, I like I said, I like it. It's got that old feel of the original trilogy, sort of like how The Mandalorian has that old feel of that same thing. But yeah, it's, I think as long as Star Wars keeps going in the direction with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, I think it's coming back around to where it should have been when Disney took it over and not what it ended up being. So now I'm not saying the sequel I'm not saying I totally hated it. There was parts I did like in it, but I think it could have been better. I can tell you this. There is rumors that George Lucas is working on another Star Wars trilogy. So they're talking about that. They're also talking about a Cade Skywalker series, possibly on Disney Plus. Now, I know you're probably saying, I don't know who Cade Skywalker is. Cade Skywalker is the grandson of Luke Skywalker. And this was all legends, and it seems like they're going to bring it into canon. And if they bring back Cade Skywalker, I don't know how they can bring him into canon without bringing Darth Krayt in, which Darth Krayt was a Sith Lord later on down, obviously, because Cade Skywalker is Luke's grandson. But which is weird because Luke, as far as we knew, Luke don't have any kids in canon. He does in Legends, but not in canon. So I don't know how they're going to do that. But Darth Krayt was actually a Tusken Raider who was Force sensitive, and he was actually a Jedi during the same time that Anakin Skywalker was a Jedi. So, but so Darth Krayt actually, and I think they broke the rule of two as well. I think I haven't seen a lot. Sheesh, I'm lost. Yeah, this has to do with a lot of stuff that happened later on, like in books. So a lot of it right now is considered legends. All right, it's not canon. So, but I think they're going to start reaching out and start making things that are legend canon here pretty soon, because they're talking about doing like a multiverse, like for Star Wars, like they have done with Marvel. So we might start seeing characters that were just legends actually coming to Disney Plus, or maybe even the big screen, like Darth Revan, who came way earlier before Darth Sidious. But and what's neat is Darth Revan his story is almost like Anakin Skywalker's story. sort of starting out as a Jedi, becoming a Sith Lord, and then becoming, Anakin actually comes back to the light at the end before he passes away, where Revan is actually brought back to the light and becomes a Jedi again. But so I think Darth Revan's story should be told. I think that it would be a really, really, really neat. And I know, I think it was Ken who said Keanu Reeves needs to play Darth Revan. Bond names, yeah. There's still some characters I have a hard time remember their names, Mar. Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, Disney, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are doing a fabulous job. You have no knowledge of Legends or canon. All right. Well, basically anything that is in the movies and anything that's on Disney Plus right now is considered canon. Or anything that's in the animated, like the Clone Wars or Rebels, it's all canon. And some of the video games. So then the books and the comic books, stuff Disney has decided that isn't something that happened is considered legends. So sort of like Luke Skywalker and Mara Jade getting married. I know you're going to say you don't know who Mara Jade is because Mara Jade isn't canon. She's legend. And she was actually brought in through the Timothy Zahn books, which is funny is Mara Jade's, she's not canon, but Admiral Thrawn is. Dave or Jim. I don't know. I think not Mary Jane, Mara Jade. Mara Jade, yes. And there was a whole backstory. She was actually like an assassin for Palpatine, and at one time she tries to kill Luke. So, but somehow they end up getting married, and then they have a son, and his name is Ben Skywalker. So Disney still draws a little bit since we got Ben Solo instead of Ben Skywalker, because actually Han and Leia actually had twins, which was Jason and Jaina, and then they had another son named him Anakin. So you had Jason and Jaina Solo, and then you had Anakin Solo. And Anakin Solo was very powerful. So some of the stuff he did, he also had a purple lightsaber, just like Mace Windu. But like I said, it's all legends. It's not canon. Of course, with Kylo Ren or Ben Solo being the son of Leia and Han now. But we got a half hour, and we're waiting for VP to get on here. So the reason why I'm waiting on VP is because it kind of crosses over, the news I have kind of crosses over into the Marvel part as well. And I know VP's a big thing. Luke and Han both had kids named Ben. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. That the canon child for Leia and Han is Ben Solo, where in Legends, Luke's son was Ben Skywalker. So I think what they did is they pulled from the books and came up with Ben Solo because of Luke having a son in the books named Ben Skywalker, instead of giving them twins. That's what I thought was going to happen. I really thought that was possible, is that Kylo Ren and Rey were twins that got separated at birth, because when the Solo kids in the book, when they were younger, there was always people trying to kidnap them. So I thought maybe it was possible that had happened and they only got a hold of Rey and not Ben. But obviously that's not what happened. So, and then I was also hoping Rey would be a Kenobi, and from what it sounded like, from the way that Daisy Ridley's been talking, that was actually the direction was heading until the Rian Johnson films and what happened there. And then they had to make Rey a Palpatine. No. Star Wars story. Are you talking about like Rogue One and Solo, the Star Wars stories? Or are you talking about? I gotcha. No, they were actually licensed to write these. Things that they wrote had to be approved by George Lucas, but they did have free aim to create new characters. There were new Jedis created, but they all fell underneath Luke's new Jedi Order in the books. Luke actually had a very large Jedi Order in the books. There was some pilots that flew with Rogue Squadron in the books that were Jedi. And there was multiple Jedi. Never in the book, in the books, did Leia ever enhance her Jedi abilities like she did in the movies, which we actually found out in Rise of Skywalker. But yeah, there were the Jedi Order was recreated completely by Luke in the books. So there were multiple Jedis running around, and actually he had a problem with having some going and creating causing problems in areas that they thought they needed to be in. So he was considered the Grand Master, but he had hard times keeping his Jedi together. I was thinking Ben and Rey would be twins. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too, Mara. I thought, but the thing was they also got hit pretty big on the Force Awakens, saying it wasn't very original. It was more like A New Hope. So let's see. If VP's not in here by a quarter after, I'm just going to go ahead and break the news. I'll tell you that much. So what else? So we got the Mandalorian, which I don't want to jump into chapter 10 yet. I want to talk a little bit more about chapter 9 like we did last week. There's some stuff that we forgot. I don't know if anybody noticed that when Mando landed on Tatooine, and of course, the woman that had taken care of the child before was there, when she calls up R5, it's R5 from A New Hope. You can actually see the scarring from the bad motivator and everything. I thought that was really neat that they actually did that. There was lots of stuff that really that was in that. They're packing these whether hour shows with so many Easter eggs that people are pulling them out left and right. Yeah, like I said, Ray, or like I said, Mark, I didn't like that. But here's something that's funny. Actually, there's a book, and I think it's the film adaptation they came out with, where they're saying that when Rey was laying there dead, and Ben gave his life force over her, that severed her from being a Palpatine and made her become a Skywalker, is what they're saying. So that's why she said her name was Rey Skywalker at the end of the movie. So they're saying that, yeah, that severed the connection to the Palpatine and made her a connection to the Skywalkers. So I know it's weird, but there's lots of stuff that's in the books. We got VP. Hey, VP.
Hey, what up, man?
So I've been waiting on you for a little bit of news.
Yeah, sorry. Tonight I was supposed to, I get off work at 9 normally, and today I didn't leave till after freaking quarter after 10.
Believe me, I know what you're talking. I didn't get home till 7 o'clock tonight. So, but some news was kind of leaked that it's been leaked that in the Mandalorian season 3 and 4, Luke Skywalker will be there.
Really?
Yes, and they already have an actor for Luke Skywalker.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and there's a reason why I waited for you.
Okay.
Because the actor is Sebastian Stan.
Really?
Yeah, you want to tell everybody who Sebastian Stan is?
Sebastian Stan. I'm drawing a blank right now.
He's the Winter Soldier.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, they actually had a photo of him sitting in a certain way and a younger photo of Mark Hamill, and they looked identical.
Wow.
So yeah, and what it was is the reason why they chose Sebastian Stan is the fans asked Dave Filoni. They asked the fans who they wanted, and that's who the fans said they wanted was Sebastian Stan.
They probably did that because of what you just said, because he's a good actor.
Yes.
He can really get into that part. And then because his likeness is so it resembles the younger Hamill, that would be a good fit. I can see that.
Yeah. So I thought that was something that was really big. I mean, but it was like it was leaked. But what was funny was I would like to tell you who I heard this from, but I can't remember who it was. I was watching YouTube. I watch all kinds of Star Wars.
Yeah.
But what was funny was the same guy who put this out was the guy who just like 2 days ago said that The Mandalorian was canceled for season 3. So it's kind of hard.
I mean, you're gonna say season 3 is canceled,
but yet come out. Yeah. So
then basically what you're saying is, here's what you could have had, but oh well.
So I guess it's rumored that Pedro Pascal quit.
Really?
Yeah. And I guess people have been hitting him up on Twitter, and he's not answering, and Disney's not answering, and neither is Lucasfilms. And they said usually if nobody's answering, it's not a good sign. So.
And Pedro Pascal is
yeah, he's the Mandalorian.
Yeah. And if he quit, then it's probably because of what we talked about before a little bit, where he wants to show his face and they're like, no, you're Mandalorian.
Right. Well, the only thing I don't understand about that is that past Mandalorians have always removed their helmet and never, I don't know if maybe it's the faction of Mandalorian he's with, maybe. I know he was saved by Death Watch, but even in the Clone Wars, Death Watch removed their helmets.
I don't know.
So,
but I mean, all the Mandalorians that have been in the Mandalorian so far, none of their helmets have come off.
Maybe it's something that happened after the Purge of Mandalore.
It could be. Maybe the timeline or the era that we're in, they're like, no, we don't do that anymore.
Right. But
then it's also at the same time. Then when you watch episode 2. Yeah. And you see the armor in the first episode, but then you see it in the second episode. In the first episode, you see the armor and then you see the end, and then it's like, well, if they're not supposed to take it off, why is there armor without on him? Like,
yeah,
we need some answers.
Right. So, but yeah, I guess so. Rogue One is one of the things we're supposed to talk about.
Rogue One's one of my favorite movies.
I
love it. I mean, it's the only movie that everybody dies in.
Yeah. Well, Mar hasn't seen all of it yet.
Oh. My bad. Spoiler alert.
Hey, Megan, thanks for coming in.
Hey, Megan. And Rachel, that's pretty cool about the Advent calendar.
Oh yeah. But Rogue One, to me, I mean, I don't know if it was needed, but I thought it was really good. I think it would have been better. I think if you remember, the trailer had stuff in it that didn't make it into the movies, and people were upset that stuff did not make it into the movies. And it seemed like there for a while, movies were doing that a lot. Like, I think what was it? The Suicide Squad. was the same way. They had a lot of stuff in the trailer that didn't make it in the movie, and people were very upset that.
I've never finished that movie.
You've never finished that movie?
I've tried to. Those storylines with those characters, I just never could get into it.
Well, I tried to watch that second one. What is it? Birds of Prey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fell asleep. And I love Margot Robbie. I fell asleep.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I would like it, and man, it was just rough. But going back to Rogue One, I just love I love the storyline. I love how they go and show how he basically left, right? The Empire, went to go raise his family. They obviously had a plan because they knew one day this was going to happen. Right. You know, she was a little girl, and then they fast forward, and she's an adult. Right. I appreciated how they did it, and I liked how she, from a child, was groomed to know, you know, you're needed for something. Right. And then, you know, her dad, even though he did this evil thing, he was forced to do this evil thing, you know, he also did something good that they were able to do what they did. And I won't say it since, I mean, we already know more. We saw the other movies. Come on. But they...
she says you can do spoilers. I'm okay.
But they, you know, because when you watch, what was it? Was it Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back?
For which part?
The one where they blow up the Death Star, the thing where they...
That's A New Hope, and then they do it again in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, okay. But New Hope is when they blow up from the first one. Yeah. Yeah. And so when you watch New Hope, you always just were like, oh, so this was just knowledge the enemy had? Right, right. Oh, yeah. We know how to go down this cannon and shoot those things right into the smallest hole on the planet-sized weapon. That's logical. So in a way, I think the movie was needed to fill in, especially for people who are like you and my son Mike, because y'all's love and knowledge of Star Wars is like way beyond anything that I have knowledge about.
Since they brought out a movie like that,
it fills in those gaps.
Since they brought out a movie like Rogue One that told you the story of how they got the Death Star plans and everything like that, wouldn't you think that they'd need to make a movie sort of like before Return of the Jedi showing how they got the plans for the new Death Star, how to take it out as well?
Well, yeah, but the problem is people hated on Solo and people didn't really care for Rogue One. And so if you don't get the love and you're spending a lot of money, right, you're not going to make another one. As much as it makes sense to, I see why they haven't. You know what I mean?
Well, I felt like Rogue One, when Disney put that out, it made everybody think Star Wars is in good hands. That's the way I felt whenever I seen Rogue One. And then it kind of just went downhill from that. Is what it did. I mean, I love Solo. To me, Solo was a good movie. It just got the backlash from The Last Jedi, is what it got.
Yeah.
But
and Mar, thank you for that. It was not that. It was a few months later that I finally was able to get into my doctor and stuff. She made a comment about how my face looks because she just watched my wife's birthday video, and she's like, "How a difference your face looks from then to now." My daughter showed me a picture from one of my very first videos when I went to Ashland, Kentucky, and she put it next to something else and sent it to me. And because, you know, when you see yourself every day, I'm like, I know I've lost weight because I'm wearing different clothes, and my dress shirts are like dresses now. But yeah, thank you, Mar.
Yeah, and I've lost weight too because now I have to wear a belt. But
you're out there walking all the time.
Yeah, I've lost. I'm almost 20 pounds now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I
So
bet you if we go back and look at your face too, I bet you see it there too.
yeah, he might. But I didn't get as heavy as what I was doing something when I worked over at the factory. I don't know what I was doing, but I was losing a lot of weight. And then you could really tell it because I was like at 192 pounds. And that's like the biggest I've ever been is at 192 pounds. I'm not a big guy, so
Chris, I was 215 when I was like 15 or 16 playing soccer.
no, I was 113. I was 113 pounds in basic training.
Wow.
But yeah.
And I'm not a very tall guy either. I'm
sure you're taller than me.
I'm like a bowling ball. How tall are you?
I'm only like 5'6".
I'm maybe like this much more.
Is that it? But so yeah, Mara, if you when you finish watching it, you're gonna see how that movie just butts right up to the next movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome how they did that.
Yeah, it's very appreciative. I loved watching a Star Wars movie with modern cinema technology. It just looks so good.
Yeah. I think also they were able to bring back that grittiness that they had from the original movies too.
Yeah. What who's your favorite, or who's one of your favorite characters in that movie? I don't know. I don't know his name, but I'll be able to describe him to you.
K2SO, the droid, is my favorite character.
I wonder why. For those of you that haven't seen the movie, he's a smart aleck. He's like, I'm gonna kill you too.
What I loved was the part where he's like, she gets a blaster. He goes, you know what the odds of her turning on us with that blaster? He goes, it's really high. You think you're gonna get that 3PO moment where he gives the odds.
It's just like, it's really high. You don't need to know because you're not gonna understand anyway how high it is. I love the Oriental, the blind guy.
Chirrut. Yes.
What's his name?
Chirrut.
Yeah. Chirrut is dope.
Yes, I love Chirrut too. He's played by what is Donnie? Is it Donnie Chow? Is that the name? I might be wrong. I know he's in a lot of like the karate and kung fu movies. I know that. Okay. I might be wrong. I know his first name's Donnie.
I could definitely see that, seeing as what he did in Rogue One.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what was it? We were like, I didn't get to watch all of it tonight because of how late I got home. But the one part that is one of my favorite movie parts is when he shoots the TIE fighter down. I love that part. So yeah. But yeah, Mara was actually asking about him. She was asking if he was a Jedi. I said he might be Force sensitive, but he wasn't a Jedi.
Yeah, no, he's definitely Force sensitive because he has knowledge of it.
Right. Well, they were the guardian of the wills, so
yeah. But the way they did his character and stuff, it was cool. Like, be one with the Force, one with you, like, you know. And then he's a blind guy, and he's going out and destroying people who can see him and shoot him, and he has a staff.
That's true. That is true. I mean, I thought he was awesome in the movie. I thought Forrest Whitaker playing Sal Guerrero.
That was good.
And what was funny is to actually see, because I don't know if you know this, Sal Guerrero was actually a character from the Clone Wars.
Okay, I've never watched the Clone Wars. I've passed by the TV when Mike has been watched all the Clone Wars. Right.
Sal Guerrero and his sister were on a planet that was occupied by the Separatists. Okay. And Ahsoka Tano goes there to try to teach them how to fight back. Okay. So, and
what up, Ken?
Hey, Ken. But yeah, they so that's where they brought his character. But you see, and you know, they say he's a radical when it comes to being a rebellion.
Right.
But you see everything he's put himself through, he's almost like Darth Vader.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
100%. Like he's like part droid.
Yeah.
And then he needs the tank to breathe a little bit, and
right.
Yeah.
I think the weirdest part of the movie was when they put Bodhi in there with that creature. That's like
to like make him lose his mind.
Yes, that was the weirdest part of that movie.
Yeah, I mean, what up, Krista? I'm like, did they really need to do that to the guy? Like, the guy's sitting here telling you everything, and it's like, how does this not make sense to you? That you think I need to torture him to make him lose his mind?
Yeah, I know. But the thing was, you know, like I said, I just watched part of it tonight. When Jen shows up, you know, he actually thinks it's a trap. Sal thinks it's a trap, you know what I mean? Or Saul thinks it's a trap. He's like, is this it? Is this why you're here? Are you here to kill me?
Right.
You know? Yeah, so I think that's what it was. He truly did not trust anybody. He got to that point that he just couldn't trust anybody.
I guess that's a good point. Until because it really wasn't until the daughter confirmed with him, like, no, like, yeah, I have information, you know. Right. But, you know, because they were putting pieces together. I thought it was cool, the scenes, how, you know, I mean, it's not cool to destroy someone's planet, but it was cool how it looked.
Yeah, isn't that where director Krennic goes, oh, it's beautiful. You just killed a bunch of people.
I mean, it did look cool.
Yeah.
I didn't like, so there's the guy who is in charge of having the Death Star made, the guy in the white outfit. What's his name?
Krennic, director Krennic. Yeah.
And then his boss.
You're talking about Tarkin.
I didn't like him.
He's from the original. You know that guy's dead. Peter Cushing's dead.
Really?
And yeah, and they got a guy who looks somewhat like him, and then they used all that stuff to actually.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, they actually had to have permission from Peter Cushing's family to do that.
Wow.
Well, you know, they do it later on with Princess Leia.
No, I knew that. Yeah.
But yeah, Tarkin. Tarkin was from A New Hope. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't like, well, which makes sense why they would try to go back and use that, since it butts right up to A New Hope.
Right.
But leaders like that irritate me in real life. Like, I'm the one who did all the work, and now you're going to turn around and go to the boss and take the credit? No.
Well, what was funny was in the comic books, when it comes to Tarkin, he's the only Imperial Palpatine won't let Vader kill.
Yeah, well, he should have let him.
Well, Grand Moff Tarkin, he was actually in the Clone Wars as well and fought on the side of the Republic.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and what's funny is Anakin actually worked with him, and there's always that question: does Tarkin know that Vader is Anakin? Because not very many people knew Anakin was Vader.
That's true.
So, I think the only one they said that kind of noticed it and would like prod at Vader about it was Grand Admiral Thrawn. So he kind of.
I just got some audiobooks for the Thrawn.
Oh, the Timothy Zahn.
No, it's the Thrawn Chronicles or something like that.
Okay, all right.
So I have like 3 of them that I want to listen to and explore that side of Star Wars.
Right. Well, they talk about Thrawn. He's I think it's pronounced he's a Chiz, is what his race is called, and he's like one of the. From the way they always talk, was Palpatine was very. I don't know how you want to say it. Like, he was a bigot. He did not care for other alien species except for the humankind, and this was the one exception he made. Was yeah.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna be. I'm curious to get into that and see what other storylines there are. I got another one that talks about Black Spire and putting that into canon and stuff.
Right.
What movie was it? What it was? Solo.
Yeah.
Solo mentions Black Spire.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. That remember last week? Yeah.
But it wasn't until I watched it again that I was like, "Oh, it did do that." Like, yeah, that was funny.
No, Mar, that wasn't Tarkin. Tarkin is actually the guy who told Vader to release the guy that he was choking. So, but in the comic books, he does choke Tarkin. He's not allowed to kill Tarkin. There's a comic book kind of putting the two together where they're at each other's throats and they're testing one another. And when Tarkin believes that he's beat Vader, Vader reaches out with the Force and starts to choke Tarkin. And that's when Tarkin gains his respect for Vader, knowing that this guy, every ounce of him is loyal to the Empire. And that's how Tarkin has a respect for Vader.
I know it's not Vader or Rogue One, but talking about choking people,
yeah,
I really love how Kylo Ren chokes people at Galaxy's Edge.
Oh yeah.
The way they act and get into that,
yeah.
Like, it's cool. Like, it brings the land to life.
Oh yeah. The other thing is, I think Rogue One gave us the Vader we wanted to see.
Yeah.
There at the end. You know, we wanted to see that all-powerful Vader moment. And we really we got it there at the end.
Question.
Plus, yeah.
How, and maybe I'm just overthinking this, but they use bombers, right?
Right.
How do bombs just drop in space?
Are you talking, wait, which bombers are we talking about? Are we talking about the bombers from The Last Jedi? Or are we talking about like them using like torpedoes and stuff like that?
No, in Rogue One, didn't they use it to break the shield or something?
Oh, you're talking about the Y-wings. They're kind of a bomb, but they kind of have more of a projectile onto them. So they're not actually dropping. They're kind of coming down and then going forward.
Okay.
So, but yeah. Now the ones that were done in The Last Jedi, yeah, there's no gravity in space. So I don't, unless it was like they pushed them down where they just had that momentum, you know. I never understood that either from that movie, that having bombers like that.
Oh, maybe I'm getting that because they had a similar structure on top, right?
Right.
Of the planet.
Yes.
Yeah, never mind. Okay, I am thinking I got my movies crossed. So never mind that. But yeah, I don't know. Bombers in space don't mix.
But yeah. So did you see the chapter 10 of The Mandalorian?
Chapter 10?
Well, the last one.
I've watched, yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to remember.
I was talking with Josh from Josh Goes to Disney.
Right.
We were chatting a little bit of how Funko knows how to make money. Like,
oh, yeah.
They know how to print money.
Yeah, they do.
Because the day after that episode came out,
right,
they released a new Funko Pop.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, they're talking about. I did see where they were talking about that. It might be him trying to talk Boba Fett to become Mandalorian. Because from what it looks like is. From what they were talking, it looks like he gave up the life. They don't think the Jawas stole the armor from him. They think maybe he sold the armor to the Jawas, and he just gave that life up.
I mean, that would make sense. Like, he gave it up, and then because he looked like besides having the full thing on, he looked like a sand people, like
Yeah,
someone who's been out there.
Tusken Raider, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he was
Raider.
carrying the gaffy stick and the same. Yeah, that's funny. The Tusken Raiders actually use guns that shoot bullets. They're the only ones in Star Wars that actually has a projectile.
Yeah, talking about episode or chapter 10, as they call it. My wife and daughter went to Magic Kingdom yesterday.
Yeah.
And they were talking frog to each other.
Yes, you were telling us this. Yes. Yeah, I heard a lot of people saying that's just weird that baby or the child was eating. I'm like, I really didn't think anything about it. You know,
I mean, it's a child who's probably 50 years old, right? But he sees food, he's hungry, he wants to eat. What's weird about that?
That's true.
I mean, he's not eating his own eggs.
And how many people do you know that's over 50 years old that don't like but don't like pickled eggs? I mean, come on.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like Amar just said, you know, her daughter sent her a photo of the child in the egg container. So there's definitely going to be, you know, there's going to be another one that is. Oh shoot, I can't get back to my screen now. There's gonna be another one that's gonna be him like eating it.
Yeah. Well, that was funny because after she left, he pulled an egg out.
Oh man. Oh, I'm still there.
Oh, yeah, you're still here, yeah. But yeah, he just pulled an egg out of nowhere and ate it after she was already gone.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I thought so. Apparently, those few scenes are like super controversial. Apparently,
yeah, obviously, yes. Now, one thing that happened in that I don't think people noticed was one of the Republic pilots was Dave Filoni.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, Dave Filoni.
Now, how did they find him? I knew they were gonna come back, but like, really, he's under the ice. He's in this little hole, and you fly 2 jets in there that nobody heard. Like, huh?
I don't know. I have no idea.
They literally parked him and then just started. And let's not use our big guns on our thing. Let's use the little pew pew pew.
Right.
Come on.
But the spiders actually comes from Rebels.
Okay.
They're not. They believe they are related to the same spiders that was in Rebels. There are differences to them.
They're ugly and scary.
Yeah. Actually, they're one of the things you can buy at the creature stall.
Really?
Yes. Yep. The spiders, they have them at the creature stall.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then the R2 unit and the other pilots, it had the black panels, and that's an Easter egg to A New Hope because R2D2 during the trench run, they had to replace his blue panels with black panels because of blue screen.
Oh.
So, and you know, even I had Gonzo saying, was that R2? Was that R2? I said, no, it was just an Easter egg that had to do with the black panels or the panels being changed on R2 during the trench run.
I don't know. They could have. They could have done it.
Now, why would R2 be with somebody other than Luke?
Why are there giant, ugly spiders in an ice cave?
That's that planet. That's just the way.
And why do they happen to wake up after one of the eggs gets eaten? You know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
Alien.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I can see where you're going. Yeah.
That whole scene reminded me of the movie Alien.
No, not at the creepy Stormar, at the creature stall. They're at Galaxy's Edge.
A Mrs. Frog bobblehead? No, that didn't even look like a frog. It looked like a gecko.
It looked like a gecko.
I don't understand why they called it a frog and made it have some frog language when it clearly looks like a gecko.
I don't know.
I don't either.
They do some different stuff. I'll tell you that much. I mean, you got the Rodidians. They look like, you would think they'd look like a rodent. They look more like a lizard because they're called Rodidians. You would think like more like a rodent, which
Or
what a Rodidian is, right?
Or a rodent.
Yeah, but Greedo was a Rodidian.
Oh, okay, the green.
Yeah.
But that, I would think maybe more like a rodent than a lizard.
Right. But there's like stuff that actually makes sense, like the Deveronians.
So for Halloween, you need it next Halloween. You need to come down here and be a Rodinian, and then we can go to Gonzo's house and knock on the door.
Okay. But no, they have like Deveronians, and the Deveronians, they actually have like fangs and horns. So I mean, some stuff makes sense, some stuff doesn't. But I think we're probably gonna have to end it. We're over an hour right now.
It's probably Mar to answer Mar's last question before we say goodbye. Mar, in Oregon, we used to go up into the mountains, and it's probably just a thermal vent. It just happens to form.
You told me you don't go into the mountains. Remember that?
No, but there's in Oregon I did when I lived there, and I took my wife once when we went. I used to love going when I lived in Oregon. I loved nature. More of a city boy now, but the nature was fun. We used to go whitewater rafting every summer.
Awesome.
And then in the wintertime, we would go up into the mountains. You have to hike in a couple miles, but somebody, we don't know who started it. They cut down big trees. They cut the trunk in half and they tubbed it out, and they used little wooden channels to get this hot spring.
Oh, wow.
And they channeled it into these big trees that they used as tubs, basically.
Right.
And there's two things that controlled the temperature of the water. You literally had a rag that blocked the spring from trickling in, because it only trickled in. It wasn't like this gushing. It just trickled in. But you want to talk burning hot? You didn't even touch the water without going. You had to go back in the day. You had to go down to the river with a 5-gallon bucket, and you had to go up and down several times and get cold river water, and you would control it by using the little thing. You'd sit in a hot spring. It was nice.
Yeah.
Then you'd get out and freeze your butt off because it's up in the mountain.
Which makes being cold even worse because the air's thinner.
But it was a cool. I mean, we weren't that high up, but it was it was a cool experience, because in Oregon, your highest peak is only like, I think it's only like 12,000 feet, and these hot springs were only at like maybe 2,000.
Yeah.
So you weren't that high up. Maybe not even that high.
Right. But so we got next week. You said Mike said he will be on next week.
Yes, I spoke to him tonight. I said, "What happened?" He's like, "I forgot it was Wednesday." He's been super busy at work too, and so he said he'll definitely be back next Wednesday.
Awesome. So then I'm sure Gonzo will be here next Wednesday, hopefully. But so next week we'll have Chapter 11 of The Mandalorian, and we're in the original trilogy. So
New Hope.
Yep, A New Hope. The one that kicked it all off.
Yep.
So I don't even know if I'm going to have to watch that one. I mean, I've seen that one so many times that I don't even know if I need to refresh my mind. I know it just by heart. So, but
I'll probably watch some of it just to refresh.
Right. There, and probably what it is probably the ones that I have. I mean, I've tried to watch at least once a year. It's kind of like The Wizard of Oz. You got to watch it once a year.
I definitely refer to Oz more than any other movie.
Yeah.
I like saying my boss's boss is like Oz, and they're or the wizard, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's behind the curtain over here, but you hear him talk to you every once in a while. Like he controls things."
Yes. But he has no real authority. But so yeah, so A New Hope, chapter 11 of Mandalorian, and probably any kind of Star Wars news that pops up. Before you guys come on here, I showed my Funko Pops and my opening day
Okay,
Magic Band. Yeah.
cool.
So I had to think of something to do since none of you were here. So
I should have brought my Rise of the Resistance band.
Oh, you got a Rise of the Resistance band?
Yeah, I have I got it on when I went opening day.
Right.
And since we got our passes, I've tried to go opening day, for the new ride. So we had Rise of the Resistance,
right,
and we had Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
right.
Even if I don't get to ride the ride, because I'm definitely not one of these people that's going to sit 8 hours in a line.
Yeah.
That's not happening. I go the first day because Disney always releases merch you can only get on the first day.
Right.
So I got, for Rise of the Resistance, I got a pass holder, limited edition Magic Band.
I gotcha.
Opening days. That was cool. And then when I went back for Mickey and Minnie, I got a Mickey and Minnie pass holder band. And my wife and I both got a shirt that glows in the dark. That shirt actually was the only thing besides the pin that sold out on opening day.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
I mean, how many, like, a clothing item sell out? That's usually doesn't happen.
No. Usually you end up finding it in the character warehouse.
Yeah. So I can't wait for Ratatouille and for Guardians of the Galaxy to open. I will be at Epcot both of those days.
What about Tron?
Oh yeah, I forgot about Tron. You know why I forgot about Tron? Because up until recently,
Yeah.
I haven't been able to ride roller coasters in a long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't fit. Now I can. Like, I went to SeaWorld with Gonzo and Ken and family, and that was fun. And I was like, oh, I can fit again. Let's go.
Well, I'll tell you what. The girls, they're both here tonight, or they're back. Haven't came up. She leaves tomorrow.
Cool.
But they went to Universal, and Haley loved Hagrid's motorbike, and they showed me a video of it, and I think Hagrid's motorbike's probably going to be better than Tron.
Well, everyone in my family,
yeah,
has said Hagrid's, and we're not Harry Potter. We're not huge into the Harry Potter world.
Right.
They say Hagrid's is their favorite roller coaster.
Oh wow. Well, I could actually see. I mean, they had a lot of pretty neat stuff on that, from what I seen.
Yeah, it's the first like real storytelling roller coaster.
Right.
It has a lot of different elements involved. I've really wanted to ride it. I haven't gone back since I've started this little weight loss journey, because the last time I went, I couldn't ride it.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to going, trying again, and then hearing and hopefully experiencing soon how good that roller coaster is making me really excited for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
That's a storytelling roller coaster.
Right.
So it would be interesting to see how they do it. It has a lot of similar elements. As far as it's a launch coaster, it also goes backwards.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
There's one really cool thing that Hagrid's does that you wouldn't think a roller coaster would do, and I don't want to give it away on stream, but in case people want to go and your friends don't tell you about it first. But
right. Yeah. So so Haley's fell in love with Harry Potter. So yeah, she just bought all the books.
Nice.
I said, they have the movies out, right? Heaven's like, Dad, there's more in the books than are in the movies. I said, you can't tell me the books are better. I said, because I my imagination isn't that great to read a book and see it in my head. But somebody who puts that much money into a movie and I can see it, that's what makes the movie better than a book.
Yeah, I've never been able to. My brain, like you just said, Chris, I don't have. If I read a book,
Right.
I fall asleep before my imagination gets going.
Right.
And then, so my buddy introduced me. I think I've said this before, but one of my buddies introduced me to audiobooks.
Right. Yes.
And it was nice to be able to put headphones on,
right.
close my eyes, and just be able to go off. And the first book I did that with was Ready Player One.
Right. Right.
And it was the first time I actually understood what all these book lovers meant when they said that movie sucked. The book was so much better.
Yeah, but it's because it's like you only got so much time to do a movie. You can't stick everything that was in that book in that movie.
Well, it's also they always change things.
Right. Yeah.
And so, like, when I watched Ready Player One for the first time, I was like, that was trash.
Right.
And then I was like, it was only, but I told myself, it looked amazing. And it had all the 80s nostalgia. Yeah. And then I was like, the only reason I think it's trash, though, is because I'm comparing it to the book. I need to go watch it again, forget the book, and just watch the movie for the movie.
Yeah. I
love the movie Ready Player One.
Yeah.
But I do love the book way better.
Right. Right.
The way they did some of the scenes, like she never went into the camp.
Right.
She never went into the camp in the book.
Oh,
he
wow.
did.
Oh, okay.
He did it so that he could infiltrate the Sixers.
Oh, I got you.
So
okay.
It was a completely different dynamic. I mean, the way they did it worked, but
I think the thing that I got, that I read the books too, and then they had the movies, and I noticed a lot of differences that they changed was the Hunger Games.
Okay.
Yeah, but what was funny about that was I was going away for guard duty, and I told my wife, I said, I'd really like to find a book to read whenever I'm down, instead of just sitting there, either falling asleep or something, because when you're in the military, it's always hurry up and wait. So she goes, well, how about this book? She goes, me and the girls love this. I said, no. I said, because you and the girls love Twilight too. I mean, so she ended up buying it without me knowing it and shoved it in my bag.
That's funny.
And I happened to find it. I just started looking at it, and I look at the book, and it says, Stephen King says this is I'm like, oh, we got to try this.
You're a Stephen King guy. You like Dune and It and.
Oh yeah. I never read it. Never seen the movie.
Really?
Probably my favorite book by Stephen King is Christine.
Never heard of that one.
About the car that comes alive, that's possessed by a demon.
Maybe, but one of my friends growing up, he was huge into Stephen King.
Right.
I would also say that he was also one of my weirder friends.
Yeah. Because
most middle schoolers don't read books that advanced.
Right.
So he was really smart, but then he chose Stephen King. Stephen King chose him, whichever way you want to look at it. But right. This kid had every Stephen King book. But yeah, well, as you already can tell, I didn't read any of the books, but I watched some of the movies.
Right. Well, I think the reason why Christine is probably my favorite one is because I was one of those kids in school. I had a hard time doing book reports.
Okay.
Right. And I had to choose a book. I choose Stephen King's Christine, and my dad read it along with me.
Oh, okay.
So we actually had like something to when you're in that teenage and you and your dad don't get along kind of thing, and then you find something that brings you together. That was kind of probably what it was.
That's cool.
But yes, we have Star Wars next week.
Yep.
Chapter 11 of The Mandalorian.
And A New Hope.
Yeah, and then we have any kind of news that pops up, because lots of Star Wars news is popping up. So, and what I love is to listen that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are listening to the fans. So,
All right, look forward to it.
all right, VP. So we will catch you. Well, we'll catch you probably in another live stream, but on this one, we'll catch you next Wednesday at 10:30, and we should have everybody here like we have. So, but I want to thank you, VP, for coming.
Yeah,
And
not a problem.
thank everybody in chat, Mark, Katrina. I don't remember who else we had.
Yeah,
Ken.
Ken,
said
Rachel.
Yeah, Ken's going to send me his email because I don't have his email to send him an invite. I sent it to Gonzo hoping he would send it to him. Rachel, Megan. Yeah. But thank you all for coming in and supporting, and we will see you next Wednesday.
And Kelly from the Mickey Bunch, she was in Ninja Watching as well.
Kelly. I can't forget Kelly.
Yeah.
So,
all right, guys.
May the
Have a
force
good
be
night.
with you. We'll see you later.